Driving Home with Eamonn Holmes
on Talk Radio.
Call Eamonn now on 0344 499 1000. Calls charged at provider's national rate.
You're going to like this next item here. Our next guest has the power to change lives. Does he have a miracle cure? What he does believe he has is a miracle recovery process. This is the testimony of Lord of the Dance himself, Michael Flatley, and he's talking about a guy called Michael O'Doherty. Michael O'Doherty is the founder of bioenergy therapy, and he joins me now to tell us about his ability to turn stress and anxiety into sheer vitality. And Michael, very nice to talk to you, and it's Michael Flatley we're going to talk about first of all, because he doesn't mind. He's a very high profile patient of yours, really. Michael had a problem and you sorted it out for him.
Correct, yeah. Well, Michael, I suppose, Eamonn, like many in modern world today, suffered from burnout. Really burned out. He had pushed himself to the limit, burnt himself out, had many medical tests done, had exhausted all the medical process, and they couldn't really find what was wrong. And this is kind of reflective of what I see in my clinic every day. People turning up to their clinic that have unexplained symptoms that cannot be formed under any particular diagnosis. And in Michael's case, he was just burnt out. And what we did was we engaged in a process first by working with the energy system of the body, which was critical. And then once we got the energy system of the body right, then we got to support that then with the right nutritional approach, getting his mindset focused, dealing with any emotional stress and so on. And over a period of time, then Michael fully recovered, which was great.
Now, this isn't just a new way of packaging what we would call in Ireland a healer.
Correct. No, absolutely not. What we've always tried to do, because I'm doing this for 28 years now, Eamonn, and initially I worked with the Department of Justice, which then was involved in martial arts, and we studied in Yugoslavia, first understanding the martial arts side of things, but looking at how the body was made up of energy. So technically, if we break our bodies right down to the cell, molecule, atom, our body is made up of energy, and if that energy becomes imbalanced, the body becomes ill. And what we tried to do, and what we have hopefully done over the last 28 years, is that we've taken the sort of the mystery out of it, and we're saying to people, look, no matter what the situation is, you can change it, but we cannot allow people to exist in the illusion that somebody's going to solve their problem, some magic pill, magic wand. What we need to do is to bring into people's awareness an understanding that your body's made up of energy, and the modern day stresses and tensions that we're going through is blocking and imbalancing this energy, and if that becomes blocked and imbalanced, then there are implications with our behaviour, with our food, and stress and so on, and that has huge implications.
Are you saying to me, my friend, that you can train, you can eat the right sort of things, but if you've got all that stress and whatever, and if your energy is blocked, it won't matter how many miles you run or how many weights you lift, because you're still run a risk of being ill?
You've got it in one. They've actually proven that, Eamonn, that you can be on a perfectly healthy diet, you can be training every day, but ultimately 80% of us is not human. So first of all, we have something like 60,000 miles of vessels in our body. The most valuable and most vital organ in our body is our microbial system. And now we're hearing all about that now, where we're hearing that Parkinson's and MS and all of this is coming from the gut, even depression. Because when we're stressed, we're stressed, Eamonn, what happens is we secrete high levels of cortisol and adrenaline, as you know. But the problem here is the enteric nervous system is embedded in the gut. And if you overload the gut, then what happens is you change the functioning of the gut. And the immune system then responds by producing inflammation. Then the gut is connected to the brain via the vagus nerve.
This is me. This man is diagnosing me. But now let me tell you this. I know this because, earlier this year, I basically had where your solar plexus is.
Correct,
right? It was there you're talking about. Mine was protruded, hard lump, really sore to touch, whatever. And I came down with shingles and all sorts of things. And I had someone working on me on this who talked about this
microbiology
system.
It's the microbial system.
The microbial system. And working on that and being kinder to that. And I absolutely agree with you. So I'm buying into this straight away, what you're saying.
But
and negativity and stress is a really bad
but
thing.
in your situation where you were pointing there, when you're stressed, you see, your diaphragm contracts back up.
Yeah.
And when it contracts back up, this is what will give you the shortness of breath and the pain behind the shoulders. And then that tightens the cranial bones in the skull. And suddenly the blood flow and oxygen isn't getting there. And you're getting up and you're feeling dizzy and you're thinking, God, am I getting a stroke or a heart attack or something here? And all of this is stress response mechanisms, because when we're stressed, Eamonn, we adapt a behaviour around that stress, and often that behaviour was with food and so on. So if people are out there in the world today and they're pushing, stress, trying to make ends meet, whatever the case may be, and they're trying then to get the food right, doesn't make a difference. If you're stressed and you're producing stress hormones, you're going to cause the bloatedness, the irritable bowel syndrome, the fatigue, the headaches, all of these so-called unexplained symptoms that we see.
And there's me thinking it was just due to eating burgers and chips, but there we go. Now, Michael, I would like you to feel it, because all of this to do, this bioenergy, we've all got this.
Correct,
and,
yes.
Folks, I'm going to go off mic here, but we're going to share mic with Michael, so I hope you can hear what's going on. Matter of fact, I'll stretch my own mic over here a bit. But you're going to get now and I hope you can still hear me, a flow going.
Well, look, I'm just, if people can imagine you and I here.
My hand is between Michael's
two hands,
and I'm immediately feeling a heat coming from, is it coming from me or you?
Well, no, it's the heat coming from the energy field that surrounds your hand, okay?
Yeah.
Now, whether it be an organ, a kidney, a lung or whatever, or a lower backish or whatever, the whole idea is that for us, we have to re-establish the flow of energy through the body. So we train parents, Eamonn, how to work with their children to do this. So basically, if you had a problem with your hand, and if that was any organ of your body, my job is to connect with the energy there, and then what I do is so I'm literally just creating this wave movement of energy right through the hand, and it's just a simple little. Sometimes people feel little sensations.
I feel a little twitching going on here.
Or tingling.
Yeah.
Because what happens is the microcirculatory system. So people with diabetes, for example, we see this a lot in our clinics. They end up with neuropathy, or they have certain microcirculatory issues that could affect the kidneys or eyesight or whatever. And we know once we get the heat is getting stronger and possibly.
I feel that.
So we know that once we get this energy flowing and release that blockage of energy, then the energy carries blood and oxygen and nutrients through the cells. So when we get the energy flowing first, and then you support that with the right diet, relaxation, yoga, whatever you want to do, then things can start to change. So if that was an organ, if that was the part of your abdominal area, then that's how we would be working to release that energy, Eamonn.
And it's the only way of doing this is human to human. I mean, could you not, in this day and age, go in some sort of machine, ultrascan or sound or something?
No, but it's a valid question, because you know how we're doing it to ourselves. You know how we're manipulating our energies every day, Eamonn. We're manipulating our energy with our thoughts, our negative perceptions, our anxieties and our stresses. Under pressure, and what happens is we get caught in a part of our mind that we're over processing things. And when you get into over processing things, I call this the ripple mind project that we try to do now. When you have every thought you have ripples right through your body. So if you're thinking negatively, perceiving an outcome of something in a negative way, you're sending signals to your hypothalamus, and your hypothalamus is producing a biochemistry which will cause your digestive problems, which will cause your aches and pains, which will cause your fatigue. So there's a real physiological way. So changing people's mind, Eamonn, is critical, getting their mindset focused.
And it doesn't matter who you are or what you do, if you're a high-powered executive or you're not.
Yeah, absolutely.
That this still can affect you. Is it then some truth in the word, in the thought that if you're someone that just really is easygoing, doesn't care about much in life, you stand a better chance of being healthier? Is that?
Well, look, I don't think you have to take a mediocre approach, but what certainly the people I see coming into my clinic every day are people who are out there working hard in the workforce, high-powered executives, as you said, and coming from different fields, Eamonn, and they're just finding life a struggle. But what I would say is this: to anybody listening out there who has any problem, and I could talk the science language all day to people, but I don't need to get into that. What I'm saying to people, Eamonn, having spent 28 years in the healthcare business, and I work with many members of the medical profession and see the value of what they do, I believe that every situation can be influenced. And that's the greatest thing. that we have the power to influence no matter what the situation is, and that conditions can be changed, people's lives can be changed, and that's what we've been doing for the last 28 years.
Michael's got a DVD. It's called Michael O'Doherty, Just Imagine a Life Without Illness.
I brought that in for yourself, Eamon, to have a look at. But if people want to, I can put on my...
oh, no, right.
Yeah, but that's okay.
So I'm talking to you, but do people...
Yeah.
I mean, do you go on tour, or do people come and see you? Are you the only man that does this
No. I mean, there are 4 of us. I've trained several people. You know, I have people in the UK here whom I've trained who had serious health conditions. Lisa Wallace, who had a serious rheumatology issue, was fully recovered after the work we did for her. She went down the road 6 years with having medical treatment. You know, Danny Deering, he was on 38,000 pounds worth of medication.
Give me that again.
Danny Deering.
Tablets?
He was on 38,000 pounds worth of medication. He was to have a 65,000 pound spinal operation. He came to us, and he was type 2 diabetic, fully recovered. It took him about 2 years to recover, and he fully recovered.
But like something like, that's a big claim to make, but he would have had to have changed his lifestyle, wouldn't
100%.
His what he eats and his weight and all that sort of thing.
Yes.
But then how are you conducive to that? That's what I want to know.
The first thing is the energy. By getting the energy flowing first, it helped to release a lot of pressure off him. That's the first thing.
Yeah.
But I ask people who come into my clinic every day. Okay, in my clinic in Ireland, I come to London and see people and so on. But I ask them the first question: where do you see yourself in 3 months' time? Where do you see yourself in 6 months' time? Where do you see yourself in 9 months' time? There are 2 types of people, I believe, in the world. We're either victims of our past or creators of our future. So right now, people out there thinking, oh, my situation is terrible and I can't change it. I'm saying that's a thought process. You can change it. You can create a better future for yourself, no matter what the situation is. But we live in this world where we're expecting things immediate. We have this immediacy mindset that we can click a button and it happens overnight. Any doctor, any consultant, anybody will tell you if they're honest. There's no magic wand, a quick fix. But if you engage in a process, or if we create a strategy for you and you work with that strategy like Danny or Michael Flatley or any of these people, you will see the change. And that then becomes self-motivating, where you can eventually arrive at that point where you see yourself. But you have to have that focus.
Yeah.
How many people out there script their future?
Very few, I would have
Nobody.
thought. Yeah.
And I give them a blank page. Here, script your future. What do you tell me? What is draining your energies every day? Why are you anxious? You're only anxious because you're not in control. There's no reason why people can't take back control of what they're in control of.
Take back control. Oh, look, I've got to go because I've got to talk about Valentine's Day, because if I don't get that right, I'll be in real trouble this week. Look, it is really Michael O'Doherty, fascinating talking to you. Bioenergy is his business. That's what he does. And great talking to you. Thank you very much.
And michaelodoherty.com, if you don't mind me saying it, michaelodoherty.com is my website if people want to aim and to have a look at
Michael O'Doherty, and that's because the English can't spell Doherty.
Yeah, Doherty.
That's it.
Thank you.
Apostrophe Doherty. O'Doherty. There you go. Thank you very much, Michael.
Thanks,
Thank
Eamon.
you.